Hi guys, this is Bobby with Bobby Stamps, and I have an Easter card that I want to share with you guys today. I was going to share this last week on my Facebook Live, and Facebook has been hating on me here recently, and I've had issues when I've tried to go live, and I couldn't do it. I showed the card, but of course I couldn't demonstrate it because I was trying to hold my phone with one hand, and I would only have my other hand to do the demonstration, and that's virtually impossible. So here it is, and I wanted to get this out this week just in case anybody was still looking for an Easter card, that they didn't have an idea on an idea to make one. So I like the grunge. I love the sponging around the edges and things like that. So this is this card. I don't know if you guys can see it. So I've got the cross there in the middle, and then I went ahead and stamped on the inside, and then I just left the back blank, but I'll show you how I made those flowers. I love how they turned out. So let's go ahead and get started because it is a little bit in detailed. So what you're going to need is your card base is crumb cake, and I will show you really quick. I'm using the Hold On to Hope stamp set and the Cross of Hope framelits, and then also I am using the Fable Friends, and I need to grab that one because I forgot, and it is right here, but I do think I might have, yes, I do have that sentiment. So I have the Easter greetings. Okay, so this is the two stamp sets that I'm using to make this card. So it's going to be easier for you to I'm just trying to get some stuff out of the way so I can get this over here. So I'm going to use my mat. I don't have to because these aren't photopolymer, but I just always like to do that. So let me just, I'm going to put this piece of paper under there, and then I like to just make sure I have it pretty well centered so I don't have to worry about rocking off the edge and kind of messing things up. And I know that's going to be a little bit crooked. I'm going to use crumb cake. And I just realized something. Let me just rip this because I need a piece to stamp off on. And as you can see, that's what I did with that. So I'll just fold that one and make that be the ugly one I stamp off on. And we'll put this one right under here so I don't have to worry too much about getting my mat any more of a mess than I already have it. Okay, I'm happy with that now. Move this out of the way. So what you're going to do, and I don't know if I can fit it all in the camera, but let me see, or maybe you guys can see that. So I'm going to ink it up in crumb cake. So I'll put that right there. You guys can see that hopefully. And then I'm going to stamp off, and we're just going to do that all over the front of the card. And you just want to make sure that we're constantly turning that stamp so it's not always going in the same direction. You're just kind of looking for, you know, a background image basically. Okay, something like that. Now let's go ahead, and this is going to be the back side of the card, so I don't need to do that, but I'm going to make this be the inside of my card. Let me just make sure I have it on there. And so again, I forgot to stamp off on that one, so it's going to be a little bit darker, but that's okay. So this is the inside where we're going to put the cross here in a minute. So I'm just trying to just cover it up is basically what I'm trying to do, is just make a nice background. Okay, now this piece here is going to be the side where the oval is going to be cut out of. So let's go ahead and do the same thing with this. And each time just stamp off. And like I said, I'm going to make sure that I'm turning that image so it's not always going in the same direction. Okay. And you can over stamp like that. It's not a big deal if you do. I'm just trying to fill that in. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now I'll just go ahead and score that, and I'm just going to put it there just for a minute. I'm going to clean that stamp set because I'm going to use it again in Petal Pink. So let me just grab my layer of Petal Pink, and this one I believe is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to make sure again that I'm not going to rock. I'm going to close up my crumb cake and open up Petal Pink. And again, we're going to do the same thing. I'm just trying to make sure. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I have everything where you guys can see it and I can still work with it. So the Petal Pink is a pretty light color, but I'm still stamping off because I don't want that full force on the card. I wanted this to be subtle. And you can just make the direction, the flower go in whatever direction you want. It doesn't really matter. Okay. And I think I'm happy with that. Okay, now let's just move that off to the side. I just have a piece of Petal Pink that's just scraps. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to stamp all along this piece, and I'm still turning it even though it's not that big of a deal for this because we're going to pop the flowers out. We're just giving this some texture on it, so when we make the flowers it just isn't going to be plain cardstock. So move that out of the way. I'm going to go back in, clean it again because we're going to use it on crumb cake again. I made this card over a week ago, so I'm kind of forgetting how I did it. So we'll close up Petal Pink and go back into crumb cake. But now that you guys see how I'm doing it, you're going to know. Do all your crumb cake at once. Save time. Okay. And then just keep stamping off. And this one I did try to get pretty a lot of the image on there because I wanted it to be on the flower when I pop them out. Okay. Do one more right there. Okay. Now I'm going to leave this open, move this, and I think I can move that. I think I'm done with that, but I'm not for sure. Who knows, right guys? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is take a sponge and I'm going to ink around the edge of my card. I'm going to ink around, and I just have it closed, so I'm going to kind of get both at once. And you can forego this part if you do not like the look of this, but I love it. If you guys watch my videos, you know I do this to a lots of my cards. Okay. Then let's grab this piece. Oh, you know what? We don't have to do that yet. We wait till we do the flowers. I'm just trying to look at everything on my card to see what all I did sponge. Okay, let me clean that up. My sponge, I think I need to replace it. Let's grab another piece of crumb cake I have sitting over here with my Big Shot, and we're going to use the cross, and it looks like I have a Stampin' Dimensional backing on the back, but we're just going to stamp that. Now we'll be popping that out in just a second using the Big Shot. I'm just going to put that back over out of my way. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I need to sponge. We need to sponge our flower, so let me grab my punch. Okay, so we're going to use the 4-petal flower punch, but I do want to ink the Petal Pink paper too. I know I was forgetting to ink something. So just go all the way around the edge. And I love how this really shows up on this, the the lighter, the darker ink shows up on the lighter. Now I did happen to see here, let me see. One thing I did want to tell you guys that I forgot to do, I'm going to move this piece out, is I know this is going to be covered up. It's actually not this one, hold on, it's this one. So let's grab this image from the stamp set, and I did incorporate this. Let me grab my piece of paper to sponge off on again. And sometimes it's not too visible, but this did help kind of fill in if you don't want to stamp the leaf image over. You can just kind of go in with this and just give it just a little bit a different image around the back. And it's very subtle, but I really liked the way that that turned out. Okay, so I did that, and then I'm going to close that up really quick, move that one out of the way. Let's move this out of the way. I have too much stuff in my way, guys. Okay, so then what I did was I just took the petal punch and popped out 2 of the petal pink, and try to get one that's got where you've got a lot of the image like that. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to ink again around the edges of the flowers, and it just really kind of helps it pop too. Okay. So just ink all, kind of try to get in there in between. Sometimes it's a little harder. Trying to hurry so the video won't be long, guys. You know, I was talking with a friend, and we both were talking about how we don't like to watch long videos, so we don't like to make long videos. But when you're demonstrating, you do want to make sure that you're covering the details, so you don't want people that's watching the video to be like, now how did she do that? What did she do? So you do try to give as much information as you can. Sponging like this, though, it does take a little bit of time, so it is going to take a little bit longer for the video. So just fast forward if that's what I do. If I kind of get one step, I just kind of try to fast forward until they're on to something else. Then you're just going to take it and wad it in a ball, just like you're going to throw it away. And it doesn't matter, just crinkle it up. I used my nails to really make it into a ball. You just want to be careful. You don't want to rip it, of course, but you do want them looking grungy. And I'm just going to leave them like that, balled up. So you can see I've got them all balled up. I'm just going to leave them like that while we do our big shot work. So put this in here like this. Now I'm using the scalloped oval from the oval layering ovals, and we are going to pop out that cross. So let's do that first. We'll just line that up. Okay. So let's pop this out. And then you'll just pop your cross out. Lay that over there. I'm kind of getting a mess going on, guys. I like to try to stay organized when I'm doing this, and it's kind of not happening today. Let's go ahead and pop out. I want to grab my magnetic plate, so hold on just a second. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm just going to add my magnetic plate, because that cross that we're getting ready to use, which is this one, is very detailed, and I just found that it was much easier to run it through this way. And then I brought my die brush over because that's going to be the easiest way to get that out. Okay, and I am going to go back and forth just a couple of times just because I want to make sure that it comes out really easy for you guys when I'm getting ready to do that. Right now I'm just going to take that apart. I'm going to leave that on there for right now. Going to slide that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and layer this piece so I can run that through the Big Shot now too. So I'm just going to put some snail on the back of the Petal Pink. And you're just going to make sure that you have it front side the way you want it. Okay. And then we're going to open it up. Try and make sure you guys can still see. And then just lay that there. Looks like I got the back of it in ink, but it's okay. What you could do is just, since you did that, is you could just go ahead and stamp all over the back of it too. Now I'm going to take this and put it up kinda to the top because I want my flowers to go down there, and then I also have to get my greeting. So I'm really close to the top, but not all the way at the top. Okay. And you could use washi tape if you want to make sure that it's not going to move. I'm just going to run it back through this way and then take the card off. Let me try to get everything back out of my way. Okay, so we'll pop this piece out first. And we're not going to throw that away. We're actually going to keep it because we're going to layer it back in there. So you can keep it where it goes like that. And open it up like that. I'm trying to find, there it is, my snail. So I'm just going to put my snail on the back. I'm not popping it up on dimensionals. We're going to pop the cross up. So let's close that back again. And then you just basically lay it right back in there where you just took it out, and then hold it down as you're doing that. Okay, let's move that out of the way for right now. I'm going to grab this cross and I'm going to just use the die brush, and those pieces should just pop right out of there for me with any luck at all. Yay, look at that. Just have a few pieces right in the center right here that I want to make sure I get out. Okay. Move that out of the way. Now, where did my other cross go? Here it is. So then we're just going to layer this piece on to that piece. You could use Tombow, the fine tip glue pen, but to save time, you guys, I'm just going to put it on with snail. I'm not going to give this card to anybody. I'm just making it for demonstration purposes. If I was giving it to somebody, I for sure would use the fine tip glue pen, because you can see this adhesive through here. Okay, so then what we're going to do next is pop that up with dimensionals. Probably 3, I would say, would be enough. You could put a couple there on each ends of the cross if you wanted to, but you really don't need to. Okay, and then you're just going to put that right there. Then I'm going to take and put, using 2 of the small pearls, I'm going to put them right there. I thought I had another one that I brought over with me that I had popped out for my Facebook Live, but I don't see it. So we're not going to worry about it. Okay, and then we're just going to close that. Now, I'm going to grab the piece that I had brought over for the sentiment, and we're going to stamp the Easter greetings in crumb cake, and I'm going to stamp it to the right because I'm going to banner punch the ends. So let me grab my banner punch. Actually using the, what is this called? The Tailor Tag punch? I can't remember, you guys. I'm bad. I'm sorry. Tailor Tag punch, I think is what it's called. And then I'm just going to ink around that. Okay. Let's bring our card back in. I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on the back here. I feel like this video is going to be 20 minutes long. Okay, and then I'm just going to put it right there in the corner. And then let's start opening up our flowers. And we're just going to open them. Whoa, and they're going to fly right out of your hands. So we're just going to open them. And you just want to make sure that you have the flower, the side that's got the stamping on it, up. Put a dimensional right in the center back here. Pop that off. And then we're just going to start layering it. Okay. Now I didn't put my pearls on the center yet. I made sure I got all my flowers down where I knew I wanted them. And I tried not, like that right there, I love how that looks, so I didn't try to mess with it too much. I just really tried to make sure I was getting that dimensional on there good and in the center. Okay. And then let's put that one right there. And then I'm going to put the other crumb cake one. Let's put a dimensional on the back. You could use the mini dimensionals if you wanted to, but it is a bigger flower, so I really wanted to use the larger ones. And then open up this last petal pink one. Put your dimensional on. And then let's put that one right in there like that, okay? And then so you can kind of manipulate your little leaves or petals or whatever you want to call them. And then I used the larger pearls to just place my centers. You know, I was so happy when I seen that Take Your Pick tool, and I never used mine. I don't know, I've just always gotten so used to using my stylist, the piercing tool, that I don't know. I have it, it's over there in the rest of my supplies. I guess I should use it. Okay, and then I'm just gonna grunge, kind of crinkle that one back up, and I really want that pearl to show, so I'm just gonna kind of manipulate that leaf right there, kind of like that. You can kind of, I mean, you could even rip these if you wanted to, you guys, if you really wanted to grunge it up even more than that. I'm trying to look to see if I need anything else. You could add, you know, even a couple of pearls right there if you want to. But this is my Easter card for you guys that I made. I hope that you guys like it. I love how it turned out, and I'm sorry the video was so long, you guys. Please make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys.